Guys, last lecture we have discussed what is design, purpose of design, basic idea about the design and design principles. Last point we have covered was design principle, top down and bottom up strategies. Now we are starting with the next bit, module level concepts. So first try to understand the difference between model and module. Model is abstract representation of the system. We call it as what? Model. And part of a model which has some specific behavior, we will call it as a module. So this must be logically separable part of the program. We will call it as a module. So understand the difference between model and module. Module is part of a model which has a unique identity, rather we can say, and it must be a unit that is discrete and identifiable with respect to coupling and loading purpose. To produce the modular design, some criteria must be used. So to select the module so that it supports well-defined abstraction and are solvable and modifiable separately. So whatever the systems we are going to design, we will try to make the system made up of different modules. For example, if I consider pen will be divided into different parts, like it's a cap, it's a body, further divided into a refill, like this. So these are nothing but different parts. That parts we will call it as a simply module. Now to going for the design, while we are working on the design constraints, we need to work on a model level concept, and to decide the model we need to talk about the two important part. One is called as a coupling, second is called as what? Cohesion. So these two parts is very important. Out of this chapter, this bit particularly is very important considering your final year final paper. So let's see the difference, coupling and cohesion. What is coupling means? Coupling, dictionary meaning, it's a pairing, nothing but combinations. So coupling between module is the strength of interconnection between the modules. Highly coupled modules are joined by strong interconnections, while loosely coupled modules have weak interconnection and independent module have no interconnections. So coupling means just a kind of pairing. Highly coupled modules are joined by strong interconnection. Means if I consider the two module, A module, B module, or one more example, calculator consists of four parts: addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So addition is one of the module, subtraction is one of the module. So I want to have the relation between this addition and subtraction. So how they are going to interact with each other, that interactions will be discussed with the two parts as a coupling and second as a cohesion. But coupling means just a pairing, or what we can say simply as a dependency, just for understanding purpose. So to solve and modify modules separately, modules must be loosely coupled with each other. It means try to have as much as possible coupling. Whatever the strength you have, try to reduce the strength between the coupling of the modules, and it would be decided during system design so that it can be reduced during implementation. Coupling is abstract concept, so no formulas can be given to determine coupling between the two modules. To keep low coupling, we would like to minimize the number of interfaces per module. An interface of module is used to pass information to and from other modules. We should keep the interface of the module as simple as small as possible. So major factors affecting on coupling is type of information flow, like data flow and or control flow. So coupling means pairing. Simply remember pairing, module A, module B, and we are trying to say that their dependency is there. So try to make as much possible as lower dependency, means lower coupling. So being as a software designer, one's aim should be to have the lower coupling. And if there is one more thing, dependency, much lower coupling, higher cohesion will be there, and it is recommended to go for higher cohesion. Now let's talk about what is cohesion. Cohesion is mixture, that is nothing but things, pulling the things together. It is a computing degree to which the different modules in the computing systems are function dependent on others. It means Suppose I'm taking a simple example of ATM withdraw. I inserted my pin after swapping a card. I inserted my pin and I inserted my expected amount to withdraw. I have just entered the amount which I want to withdraw. So these inputs has given to the next process to give the money out. That is a strong relation between them. That strong relation is called as one cohesion. So it is a concept that tries to capture this intra module. With the cohesion, we are interested in determining how closely elements of modules are related to each others, exactly opposite to the coupling. Coupling should be small, means lowest, so that higher cohesion will be there. So measure of how well a component fits together called as what? Cohesion. So cohesion and coupling are closely related, means greater the cohesion, coupling will be lower. Remember these things. The greater the cohesion, coupling should be lower. And there are several levels of cohesion. So basically there are 7 levels of cohesion, starting from the lowest level to the highest level. So coincidental, logical, temporal, procedural, communicational, sequential and functional. These are the levels of the cohesion. Lowest cohesion means highest coupling, and highest cohesion means lowest coupling. Remember this difference. So let's talk one by one. Basically there would be a question in the question in a final year, or maybe a questions list and explain the different levels of cohesion. So you have to remember the sequence in the same sequence. So cohesion, coupling. Cohesion is measure of how well a component fits together. We call cohesion. Coupling, it is measure of the strength of interconnection between the system component. Just talking about the dependency. Coupling. Cohesion, strongest relationship. So starting with the lowest level of cohesion, it's a coincidental, as the name suggests. Coincidental means it occurs when there is no meaningful relation among the elements of a model. It is poor practice to create model to avoid duplicate code. It is just coincident of relationship, nothing else. Logical. Module has a logical cohesion if there is some logical relationship between the elements of module and elements perform function that fall in the same logical class. We call it as a logical, means accidentally they came together and have some kind of an information flow between the two modules just to help each other. We call that as a logical model. Temporal, this is same as a logical cohesion, except that the elements are also related in time and are executed together. Means some of the modules come together for the time being activity and just exchange some kind of information between them. That type of a relationship we call temporal relationship. And after completion of that process, the relationship overs, so named as a temporal relationship. Cohesion. Third level. Now next, fourth level, procedural. It contains elements that belongs to common procedural unit. A module elements that belongs to common procedure. A model with only procedural cohesion may contain only part of complete function or part of several functions. We call procedural cohesion. As its name suggests, it contains elements that belong to common procedural unit, means some like a central processing unit, CPU, and it is connected with a different like pen drive. As soon as you connect the pen drive, it processes the data from pen drive to CPU as a part of a procedural relationship. Next, communicational. A module with communicational cohesion has elements that related by reference to same input or output. The elements are together because it operate on same input or output. We call as a communicational relationship, cohesion level. Because of some inter-interface, they came together. Next is sequential. As the name suggests, sequential. One activity triggers other activity in a proper way. We call it as a sequential. When elements are together in a module because of output of one form, the input to other, we get sequential cohesion. Next is functional. It is the strongest level of cohesion. In functional bound, modules are the elements of the module to perform single functions. Example, module which compute square root. So these are the levels of the cohesion: coincidental, logical, different meaning again they have given. So remember these 7 levels. Next is we are talking about the design notations and specifications. So this is entirely related to the next part called as what? SDM, structure design methodology. So to draw the structure design methodology, we are going to work on some design notations that can be used to draw the structure chart. So to draw, this is a sample example of a structure chart. Main module, then if you are remembering, in class we have taken one simple case study. You got a file, one file, and your job is to find the total number of words in that file. So you need to write an algorithm, or you need to draw the flowchart for this, and that flowchart is drawn with the help of a structured chart, like different module: read numbers, sort, add, and switch. So this structure chart has different modules. So what are the different modules? Input module, output module, transfer module, coordinate module, composite module, and their representation is like this: input module, output module, coordinate, composite, and transfer module. Specification, their descriptions. Now what is structure design methodology? SDM in short. So basically this SDM works in 4 levels. What are that 4 levels? First, whatever the problem statement given to you, convert that problem statement into data flow diagram. So it is known as restate the problem as a data flow diagram. Second solution is, once you have a data flow diagram, identify which are the input modules, output modules for that data flow diagram. Then perform the first level factoring. Means factoring means decomposing the things, means the particular module, try to divide that module into another sub layers or sub levels, called as what? Factoring. And repeat the step number 3 for input, output, and transfer module. So we call that as a structured design methodology. So this SDM basically works in 4 levels. Restate the problem as a data flow diagram, identify the input, output, first level factoring, then factoring of input, output, and transform branches. So the same example we will continue to understand the SDM. These are the common data flow diagram notations that you might have studied in CE. Restate the problem as data flow diagram, means problem of determining the number of different words for the given input file. So I have just converted this input file, get the word list, outcome of this total words, sort the word list, then after sorting count the number of different words and print that count. Then here that arc represent most abstract input, most abstract output. So let us understand this. What is most abstract input, most abstract output? This is one more example for the data flow diagram to draw the ATM. This is the data flow diagram for ATM. Second, identify most abstract input and most abstract output elements. Now abstract means input data elements. Means for example, in case of ATM applications, I swapped my card and then I have entered PIN. So without PIN it cannot work. So max means what we can say, your flow has to have some means minimum inputs, and without that input it cannot go ahead. We call it as most abstract input. Sorry. Similarly, some output should be there. Whatever the system you have extracted, minimum one output should be there. That is most abstract output. So in case of ATM transactions, most abstract input is your PIN, 4-digit PIN. In case of word list, to find out number of words, word list. Now third is first level factoring, means dividing it into further levels. input module. This is first level factoring of the common thing, word list, counting the number of words. First level factoring for data flow diagram. Second is factoring of input, means we will repeat the step number 3. Earlier we have repeated for the whole module. Now we will concentrate only on input, output and transform branches. So this is for the input module, get sorted list. This is for the central module. So this is okay. After transfer module, same you have to repeat it for the data flow diagram for ATM, input output first level factoring as a part of your structure design methodology. So that ends our the function oriented design. We will take a pause here. Next lecture we will talk about the object oriented design and their approaches. Okay, thank you.